Okay, the first step we need to do is get our audio into Audacity. We can go to File, Import Audio, and then you simply browse for and find your audio file that you want to edit or work on. And I've created an audio file. Obviously now I can't find it. So I bring this in. You can just make a copy, that's fine, doesn't matter really which one of these you choose. Once your audio is here, your job now is to start to find the audio words that you are wanting to hear. So, and then copy and paste them. So I'm going to create a new track. I go track, add new. Now you should choose audio track if you have a mono, or you should choose stereo track if you have stereo. We have stereo, so I'm going to choose stereo track. And here's my new track. Now I'm going to look for the word I like, and if you just click here and hit play, you'll see I like. Now if you have a hard time isolating it, you can use the zoom in button right here, and you can highlight your part you want and hit play. I like. So I found I like. I'm simply going to copy that. Right there's the copy button. I'm going to scroll down to this track and paste it. And now I'm going to look for the next phrase, which is holding hands. I know where that's at. It's about the 24 to 25 second mark, so I'm going to scroll over to the right and look for holding hands. Holding hands. So I'm going to take that and simply copy it, scroll back, make sure I click to the right side of it and paste it. So now I have I like holding hands. Now I'm going to look for and picking flowers, which is about the 28 to 29 second mark. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to click and look for picking flowers. Picking flowers. So I'm going to highlight that, play it one more time, and picking flowers. I'm going to copy, simply go back, and I'm going to click here and paste. Now if I want to hear just this track, I have to make sure I mute the top one, and then I click and play. I like holding hands and picking flowers. Okay, so there's a little too much time. You can click the time shift tool, which is this double arrow, and you can slide these around, and you can see how they're joined together. And you can keep the space or leave them joined. If you want to join them, you can then double click right there and it will actually combine them together. So I now have I like holding hands and picking flowers. We need to find the word pretty, and that's somewhere back at the beginning. So I'm going to mute the bottom and unmute the top and look for the word pretty. I don't know where that's at. I believe it's at the 5 second mark. So I'll get my select arrow tool. I'm going to look for pretty. Okay, there's pretty, so I'm going to highlight pretty. So I'm going to copy pretty, scroll down, and it says I like holding hands and picking. The word pretty should go right here, so I'm going to hit paste. And now if I unmute it, mute the top one, rewind it. I like holding hands and picking pretty flowers. All right. There we go. If I need to insert a little space right here, I can go to Edit, Clip, Split, and then from the split, I can just drag this down just a little bit if I want, because that was a little bit run on. So let's try it again. And picking pretty flowers. Yeah, that sounded a little bit better. So that's how you combine them all, and we'll. Okay, if I would like to add audio from the internet, the first thing you need to do is adjust your inputs up here. Typically you use MME and then the microphone for recording your voice, but we're going to get from the internet, so I'm going to change this to Wasabi, and it's always different for each computer system. I'm going to set this one to Wasabi, and this is my input to speaker, and I simply hit record, and then you browse to your internet and have your music ready and just hit play, and your music should begin to record, and you should see the recording right here. While it's recording, do not adjust the input volume level, which is right here, because it will be it'll change your volume as you're recording and it won't sound very good. I'm going to say that that's enough recording, so I hit stop. And I turn my YouTube off, and now I should have one track, and I can rewind it, and I need to just clean this track up. I'm going to highlight the front part of it, simply hit delete on the keyboard so it goes away, and you can decide now how to slide things around. Like I might want to take this track here and make it play 3 seconds into it. So I simply get the time shift tool, and I'm going to join this whole track together because it's really done. And I can slide this over to about 3 seconds. So now if I want to have this music fade in, I can highlight the first so many seconds and go to Effect and Fade In. And then I can decide how much music I want. I'm going to have it play about 3 seconds at the end. So I'll go to about right here and just delete all of this. And then I can fade this part in or out. So I'll highlight it and I'll go to Effect, Fade Out. And that's how you can get your audio in. And if you need to adjust the volume as you play it, you could turn this up or down, or turn this track up or down, and you'd have to decide what you want. So I'll listen to it.
I like holding hands and picking.
So I personally think this is too loud down here. This is the dominant part, so I could turn this down a little bit. That takes just that track and turn it down. Or one other option, it's a bad idea to bump the gain up. You can bump it a little bit. Another option is to highlight this, go to Effect, Amplify, and be careful with the slider. It doesn't take much for it to crank up pretty good. And you could just bump this up, and that would turn that up also, or down. And that's how you get audio into your soundtrack from the internet. Okay, in this one I want to try to emphasize certain parts of a word. I'm going to take the word pretty. I have it highlighted. And I'm going to take pretty, I'm going to repeat it and change the pitch and so forth. So I'm simply going to go up here, and you can do lots of things. You don't have to copy and paste it. These are all options. So I got it copied. I'm simply going to click here and paste it. And I'm going to paste it about 3 times. I'm going to click again and just hit paste. And I'll even do it one more time. Click and hit paste. So basically I have this word multiple times, and if I play it, it'll say pretty, 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 pretty. Okay, so you could use that to bring emphasis to something. And from there, what you want to do is you could add little effects to it. Like I can highlight this and go to Effect, and I'll change the pitch. And you got to be careful. I just bump this up just a little bit. Don't go extreme on these. You hit Preview. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'll hit OK. I'll take the next one and I'll lower it. I'll go there, and I'll go to Effect, and I can change the pitch, and I can just lower it down. I'll go a little lower than that. So now it just gives emphasis to the word, just trying to show you different options.
Picking, pretty, flower.
And then you could also add, there's lots of options. You can go to Effect, and you could add some reverb, kind of gives it an echo noise to it, a wah-wah, a sound effect. And you have to look through and play with these. These involve a lot of different skill sets and understanding of how they work. It depends on the audio you're affecting. It depends on how much text or highlighted stuff is adding effect to. There's lots and lots of rules in these. You'll just have to play with these on your own. That's how you can add some different effects to your audio clip, and that's all. Okay, once you have finished saving your project or editing your project, the last step would be to export your audio. Now it's important that you save your project right here. You'd save your project. That would keep all your tracks in place. But whenever you export it, you're actually making a finished video. So choose File, Export Audio, and you have 2 options. We'll go with Wave. You can give it a name, such as, I don't know, Finished Wave File. You don't have to name it Wave. And you simply hit Save. That's all there is to the Wave option, and hit Save. And that'll bring up what's called the metadata. We're not going to use metadata, and we're going to hit OK. And that's done. If you want to make an MP3, you go File, Export Audio, and change it to the MP3 options. And then I'll ask you on your projects to either make a 128, which you choose Options. 128 is what's considered a high quality. And you could go lower, which goes 16 kilobits. The sound quality will be a lot less, but the file size will also decrease. You simply pick whichever option you would like, and you simply hit OK, and give it a file name, and hit Save. And again, we'll ignore the metadata. You can hit OK. It's important to note that I have the top track muted, or whichever track you don't want to hear, make sure it is muted or it will export also. But that will give you your MP3 and WAV files, And if I were to go to look at my desktop, I would see those. It's important that you listen to the MP3 or WAV because that is the finished product. That's all.